In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a product and a landing page that actually converts. And just so you know, this isn't a big claim. I'm going to use the example of my own brand, and I'm going to show you and break down every single functional technical area, the psychology behind everything, the layout, so you can generally just copy and paste it straight into your own brand. If you don't believe me, just going to do a quick refresh check on my brand. Let's do it. Control R. Oh yes, we are exactly the same when it decides to load. Oh, maybe not. Let's do it again. All right, there we go. 2.5 mil. Okay, this isn't made up. This is legit. You can see everything's up and to the right over time. So yeah, but you have two options. You can either run this as a lifestyle brand, you can live out here in Bali and chill, or you can have it as a performance brand, because supplement brands inherently are exitable companies, especially so if you're solving a problem in an innovative, get my teeth in, space that actually adds value to the world, and you're solving a specific problem for a specific type of person, or maybe you're just doing it in a new or unique way. Now, what I wanted to spend a bit of time on this video is just running you through, okay, exactly, you have ads, you have creative, you have content, but for whatever reason, your store is just not converting. Now, you have a few options. You can use something like a Shrine theme, everything's drag and drop, very kind of dropshippy, or you can build a custom designed landing page or product page or advertorial or listicle. You have multiple different frames, if you like, to build, to run traffic to. That's actually going to get your conversion rate up, because if you think about the importance of you having a strong post-click experience, this is everything, because your ads are, this is the magnet, right? This is where you're capturing attention. But unless you have a good, strong conversion engine on the back end, you're not going to be able to convert that attention into cash. And again, if we zoom out, this is the meta of the game. We're trying to convert attention into dollars. And there is no better way for you to do that than to have a very well thought out, well architected either product or landing page. Now, there's different types. But what I want to do in this video is just run you through, okay, exactly how am I doing it? So I've just launched two new pages. One is more of a long form advertorial listicle style, which is very educational. And the second one is an actual product page. Now, from my side, because of maybe the niche that I operate in, I don't run cold traffic direct to product page. And the reason for that is, and this is the same with a lot of supplements, the level of market sophistication is relatively low. Consumers don't understand supplements. They don't have the same depth of knowledge as maybe you do, particularly so if you've used the product, you've researched it, you've got value from it yourself, or maybe you're picking someone to sell in position. You would do the research. You know everything about this product, what's in it, how it works, where the ingredients are sourced, what the unique physiological mechanism of how these ingredients actually work. But consumers, very simple. They have a problem, they want a solution, and you need to position your product as solving or bridging that gap. If they don't think this product can actually solve the problem, very simple. A, you're not going to capture their attention in the first place because you're not talking directly to that pain point. And the second part is they don't believe that this is actually a problem solving, or even that it's a problem worth solving, or they don't believe that your product can actually deliver on the desired result that you're trying to sell to them. So your product page, for me, I run traffic to product page generally for more middle of funnel to bottom of funnel. And this is because they're already indoctrinated into my ecosystem, my product ecosystem, my content ecosystem. And the reason I run most, I would say probably like 90% of all of my traffic, either to a landing page or listicle or advertorial, is because we need to be front loading education, especially so if you understand your customers, which again, every decision you make is always going to be downstream from you knowing more about your customers than they know about themselves. So if you can actually capture that attention with good creative and content on the ad side, we have to be able to retain that. We have to ensure that we're running them to a page where we're filling in the gaps a little bit. We've made a claim. We're saying this can give you this X desired result, whatever that is. If it's more speed, more power, more endurance, if it's sports related, or if it's health, if it's, I don't know, more energy, better sleep. Supplements have direct links to these desired results. But on the landing page, we need to be able to fill it out a little bit. And we need to get into the mind of our consumer. So think about it as a consumer. Put yourself in their shoes. They're highly skeptical. They don't believe you. They've never heard you before. They don't know the brand. You've probably never tried the product before. So you need to give them a reason to actually buy from you. So there's no better way in my experience to do this than to lead with education. And it's always comes back down to that law of reciprocity, where you give before you get. And this is about you filling in the gaps. So what is the product? Who is it for? How does it work? What problem is it solving? Who is it solving a problem for? Who else is using it? Who else has used it and got value from it? Is there any external or third-party sources you can use to back up your claims? What's in the product? What are the ingredients? What is it? How does this actually work? Are others using and getting value from it? If so, can I see it? Do you have good, strong visuals? Does this look professional? Does this look like a scam? Do you have a very well, clearly architected checkout process? Do I feel safe and comfortable putting my card details in? These are all the questions you need to be asking yourself when you're about to either build or launch a product or landing page. Now, I'm going to take you through both of mine. So I have one landing page, which is kind of more of a hybrid advertorial style, which is for cold traffic. And I'm also going to show you my product page, newly designed. Everything's up and running firing. I can't actually show you results from this just yet because if you go on my website, as of the time of recording this video, I have no stock. I'm completely wiped out. And you can either frame this as a good or bad problem. For me, these are the type of problems you want of too much demand versus I have too much stock or I can't get any sales. Still a problem, but again, this is kind of what we're optimizing for in this entrepreneurial journey is you're always going to have problems, but we want to optimize for better quality problems. And I'd far rather have the problem of too much demand than no demand whatsoever. So let's get into it. I've sold over, I think it's like 2.5 mil now of this one product the past few years. Everything's compounding, everything's growing, the systems are getting better, customers are happy. We've maintained a 4.5 or 5-star Trustpilot rating since the beginning. So this product does actually deliver. And yes, I did invent a product in a new category, but when I started, this was the hardest thing in the world to sell. So many preconceived notions about what this product does, how it works, what's in it, what's its use case, and I had no experience. So I had to figure everything out on my own. Whole point of me making this video is so you can skip steps. You can, if you want, you can just rip everything I've got, copy it, use it as a template, give it to a landing page designer, hire someone in Fiverr and say, hi, can you make this exact spec and layout for my brand? And then very simple, add in your copywriting, add in your own images and videos or testimonials. Super easy. But yeah, this is working. I think it's converting about around 3% at the moment. But again, this is even with no stock. We're still converting. We're still taking pre-orders. So yeah, let's get into it. Real quick, if you want to start or scale your brand, click the first link in the description to talk with me or my team, where we'll analyze your numbers, we'll find the lowest hanging fruit and show you exactly what's needed to get your money up, not your funny up, but for real. I'll show you step by step what's needed to be done. Unlike everyone else, your brand will be scaling without you because it's no fun making lots of money if you're trapped in the business. I can tell you that firsthand. You have to be the one working on it, not in it. On the screen, you should be able to see my landing page / hybrid advertorial / listicle / everything all put together. Now, I'm going to talk you through this section by section because every single pixel, particularly so in this what we call above the fold section, which is the screen that loads on mobile. And remember, we're always going to be focusing on mobile first, particularly so if we're doing social media marketing, i.e. Meta, TikTok, etc., because these are inherently mobile first platforms. Every pixel, every moving part, every color, every button, everything here has a reason for existence. Everything's fighting for its place on this landing page. And if you decide this is rubbish, I'm doing my own thing, do it at your own peril. Again, I made that mistake. This is your most important piece of digital real estate other than your ads. Don't just discredit this information. This is really important. I'll talk you through it section by section. Okay, principles to start with. Brand colors. Everything is consistent, everything's cohesive, everything flows. This gives you or gives your customer, because remember, the only thing that matters is what our customers think. This gives the perception of trust. I'm not using multiple different colors. The color scheme is 3. It's green, black, and white. That's it. And this stays consistent throughout the whole brand experience. This is what really is professionalism. And this is why I say if you're launching or if you have a brand, if you can constrain to a primary, secondary, and tertiary color around your brand and keep everything consistent, the only thing that I will allow you not to do it on is maybe on a call to action, or if you're trying to educate and use colors such as red, for example, to invoke emotion or to agitate pain. That's the only point, then it's okay. Now, let's go through it. Okay, so at the top, green. Why saying green? Same, consistent everywhere. Why saying green? We're saying green, okay? The only time it's not is if it's external body, i.e. Trustpilot, in which case it's okay because it's third-party validation and proof and it flows well. Now, your announcement bar. This is a small thing, but sometimes really important. I actually had a client ask me a question about this earlier, which is what prompted the video. They said, what needs to be in the announcement bar? Now, I use the announcement bar as a couple of things. First and foremost, as you can see at the minute, I'm out of stock. So this is really important for me to be able to manage expectations because I've ended up becoming the king of being out of stock. Again, it's a problem, but it's a better quality problem, if you like, in terms of the hierarchy of problems. So this is like, it's doing exactly what it exists to do. It's an announcement bar. It's informing customers. Now, assuming you're not out of stock, which hopefully you're not going to be, there's 3 things that I would like you to do it. And the principle here is very much the same with your email pop-up as well, which I've covered in a separate video, is to always lead with value. So let's look at this objectively when I get through here. What I'll do generally is use this announcement bar for two things. First and foremost, to help increase average order value, AOV, and also help funnel people into subscription. So this is where you lead with your offers. Okay, so for example here, I have refer a friend. This is important for me, okay, because what I want in an ideal world is to pay Meta 0 and get customers telling other customers about it. And if I can have, and I do have, a referral program which incentivizes that, I'd far rather give $20 to a customer, which builds loyalty, it breeds brand alliance and integrity, than to Meta. Okay. Second, free shipping over 50. I want to make sure that our carts, they're not just coming in and buying a single product or a sample, that they're actually spending money. So again, this is just a small subliminal thing that primes them to know that, and this is part of a broader strategy which we'll cover on the product page as opposed to the landing page. This is just really important to ensure that they're not just coming in and buying something small or trying it. We want to encourage as much as possible to be spent. Average order value and lifetime value are those two parts of what I call my eternal funnel, is what actually makes this brand sustainable. Because with supplements, particularly so, they're not that expensive unless you're selling and pitching really premium. Most times supplements are going to be within the, I don't know, say 20 at the lower bracket, all the way up to maybe 90 or 100. Okay. Now, once you factor in all of your costs, your operational expenses, how much it costs you to run the business, and of course your marketing costs, your cost per acquisition, we need to be able to squeeze and extract as much from the money that we spend in ads to actually spend into your store. Okay, second one here is subscribe and save, because ultimately this is what we want them to do. We don't want them to buy once. We want to ensure that we build a brand ecosystem that when they buy, they stay with us. Okay, next, nice and easy. Hamburger menu, logo, cart, login. That's it. Doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, but again, it stays consistent. Now, our hero image is of a target profile consumer using the product. So important for us. Again, we have brand affiliations with clubs, etc. So now we can use that. If you don't have that just yet, if you're just launching, don't worry too much about it, but try and personalize it as much as possible. And the key here is that your avatar, the person you're selling to, whether that's directly the consumer or second order consumer, for example, us, we sell to parents, but the kids use it. We need to get into their brain. What do they want to see? They want to see other kids getting value in using the product, ideally in a professional or a relatable setting. This is exactly what this does. And again, we've architected this well because it fits the branding. Okay, everything is the same: white, black, blue, blue, green. Trustpilot rating, external proofing and validation. This is what shows customers or consumers that we are legit. You can just use a 5-star review. It doesn't matter what app you're using. You don't have to use Trustpilot. Trustpilot are incredibly expensive, actually. So maybe until you're at the 50K a month, don't use Trustpilot. This is so important to have some level of external social proofing, and this is just getting into the logical side of your consumer's brain when they're on your landing page, that this is a brand I can trust. This is good. And here's external proofing. Again, we don't want them to click it. It's not clickable, but it's there just as to kind of plant seeds that this is safe. This is something that you are able to actually put in your credit card details. We're not a scam. This is a real brand. Now, this headline here is one of the most important pieces of copy in your whole website, because what we need to encapsulate here is the problem and the desired situation and who it's for. So getting creative, this is important. We don't want this anything more than 2 lines. 3, okay, sometimes, but this is why we have 4 lines. 2 at the top. So these 2 here are what we're going to use as the headline. And then we have the subtitle underneath, which explains and adds a little bit more context. And then we have some benefits under here. And what we're doing, again, we're getting into the mind of the consumer. We're understanding their problem. We're linking it to a desired situation, okay? And for me, the biggest thing we're solving really is convenience. So we've got fast, simple, again, convenient, speed, healthy. This is what they want. They want the kids to be healthy. And then fuel or refuel, whatever, so that it's very obvious, okay, what is this product? Do not make customers have to think. Remember, we live in the attention economy. The second you've got them thinking, or what is this, or how does, but whatever, you've lost them. Okay, we need to keep everything concise. And this is why this above the fold section is arguably your most important piece of digital real estate. So spend a lot of time getting this right, iterate on it, test on it. The new part of your landing page that you actually want to pop is your call to action button. This is the only thing we want them to click. All right, we don't want them to click any here. We just want them to click this. Okay, so making sure it contrasts, it's got a very clear call to action, and the text that's in here needs to be linked directly to the desired result. Do not put buy now. Don't. If you have buy now or shop now, stop it straight away. Get into the mind of your customer, make it personalized, make sure that this desired result is directly linked in the call to action. Have an arrow, okay? Make it obvious this is the only place you want them to click. And by the way, when they click this will anchor them down to the product section, which we'll get into later. Now, social proofing, external validation. Who else is using it? This is if you have any press or media or anything you can fall back as authority figures, get it in here. Now, this is where the listicle / advertorial magic comes together. So we have positioned, so they've seen the ad, think about the consumer journey, always try and get in the mind of your consumer. Now they know the product, now they know what it's for and who it's for, and they're thinking, okay, this could be for me, this looks legit. Now we're going to get into their mind and we're going to agitate the pain point. And the copy that we use here needs to be directly talking to the problem. Remember, we're paid in direct proportion to the level of the pain point or problem that we solve. And this is where we're able to what I call kick their bruised knees. So we're agitating the problem and we want them to read through every line here thinking, yes, that's me. Yes, you've just described my problem. You need that resonance. Okay, if you want it to resonate on an emotional level, you're not going to be able to sell to them. And remember, people think they buy with emotion. They think they buy with logic, but they don't. They buy with emotion and they justify with logic. So the logic comes later on. For now, it's emotional. Okay, same with the picture. It's emotional. It's relaying emotion. It's holding. It's capturing attention. Okay, so we presented the problem very concisely. We don't need loads of paragraphs. And now we go into the solution. Okay, so every single one of these now has a solution. Okay, this is why we created this product. And again, green tick, green tick, green tick. Okay, it could be blue. It doesn't matter. These colors denote peace, security. It's a positive color as opposed to the red, which is going to agitate. Again, if you want an example of this, look at the news. It's always a big red banner with white text or black text in it. Okay, so what captures attention? It holds attention. Okay, we're using the same principles. Again, clear call to action. Everything is consistent from the font to the text to the colors. Same in here. Okay, we want to position this as a premium brand. This is a premium brand. This isn't a cheap brand. Okay, this isn't a drop shipping store. Again, clear call to action. We'll link all the way to the product section. Now, next, social proofing, external validation. Who else are you working with? Show pictures of customers or your target users with the product, getting value from the product. Okay, now think about the consumer's level here. Okay, so this looks like a good solution. You obviously are able to articulate the problem that I'm having right now. Now I want to know, how does this thing work? And this is where the how does it work come in. Okay, so this is the justification to the claims. And this is obviously going to be relative to your product, but what we don't want to do here is go in with features. We only care about the benefits. Okay, and those benefits need to be linked directly to why someone's buying this. And if we want to distill this, it's time. What is it? It's time, quality, and cost. That's your 3 force multipliers. Okay, so we need to link this and link it directly to the desired result so that they know now that, okay, this is saying they're doing this, but how does it actually work? Okay, this is how it does it. Okay, now I'm happy to read on. Again, clear call to action, anchoring to the bottom, more pictures of copy of the actual target user. Again, we've got affiliations here with clubs, etc., which works really well. Again, it just builds more confidence in the potential customer to know that, okay, if these guys are using it and they're playing at professional clubs or whatever, then there's a very high likelihood that this is going to be right. It's going to be trusted for me to use with my kids, particularly so in this instance. Now we can educate on the product a little bit more. What's in it? Okay, remember, we're still engaged in this logical side now where they're always going to come to a new brand or a new concept, particularly so if they're not product aware, if they're not brand aware, if they're not solution aware. They're going to want to know, okay, how does this actually work? Particularly so with supplements, because they're technical products, okay? They have ingredients, the science behind it, there's a lot of biology. So this is where we can fill out. Again, we don't need paragraphs and paragraphs. We just need to be specific and we focus on whatever's actually going to hold and convert attention. So using words and copy and language that they understand. We don't need to blind them with science. If you want to blind them with science, have something like this, which will link. I don't think that's working there. What this should do, update that, is link. It's not that one, is it? We're there. I should have this further down. This one, sorry. Yeah, so I was looking for. Where's the nutrition information? Good spot. Bro needs to update the nutritional information. I told you this was new, so allow it. But yeah, if we want to get into technical, then okay, we can link them off. But ideally, we don't want to send them off page. You want to keep everything on the same. We don't want them navigating here, there, and everywhere, because the second they're off your landing page, their attention is gone. They're out of this well-architected flow, and you've lost them. Remember, attention is everything, and time. People do not spend time, especially when they're cold, because they don't go, think you've got them from social media, from a Facebook ad, let's say, for example. They did not go on Facebook or Instagram that day to be sold to. They didn't. They wanted to be entertained, to be distracted, to be motivated. They didn't, to laugh. They didn't, not to spy or whatever you do on social media these days. They didn't go on to be sold to, so they're not in the buying frame. So the second that you get them back in that logical and they think about this, you've lost them. Time kills deals. It's the same universal law across all business. Okay, again, good, strong graphics, everything's clean, everything's well linked up, everything's still within the brand colors. Now we're using social proofing and validation, and these are actually real parents. They have videos, they have, sorry, let's get that back. What happened there? I love it when this happens. Come on, bro. Okay, so next section is customers. And these are all real. These aren't made, these aren't actors, these are actual real customers. Okay, I'll talk to this. Actually, whilst this is on the screen, I'll talk to you about it. Your email form pop-up is incredibly important. The reason I say that is because most people will not buy on the first instance or interaction with your brand. They say on average it takes between 4 and 7 digital touch points before anyone will buy anything from anyone. So getting them into your ecosystem with a good, strong front-end offer is of paramount importance. Now, what I'm not doing here is I'm not saying here's 10% off, or I'm not saying subscribe to my email list and keep updated with updates and discounts. No, lead with value, ask a question, give. Remember that law of reciprocity. This is so important, and this is such a simple lead form. And I think this converts at maybe like 15, 16%. And this is what will give me multiple opportunities for those who don't add to cart to get into the ecosystem, get into our welcome flow. And then we start educating on the product, what it does, how it works, what's in it, who else is using it. We can hit them with offers if we need to. But again, simple question, engagement question, and we're giving them a free gift. This is far more of a pull because it gets them thinking, okay, what is this? It invokes intrigue, which is important. Super simple. You could set this up in 2 minutes. Link it to your welcome series. Anyway, I was talking about social proofing and validation here. Okay, so this is just different images of parents. Again, remember your avatar. I don't know why this isn't loading. There we go. But your customers need to sell to customers, and this goes for not just on your front end ads, but also on your landing page. Like, these look like people who actually buy this product because they are people who buy this product. They're using their language. They're giving their direct experience. If you don't have customers yet and you're using UGC or paid actors, okay, it's fine, it will do. But for me, there is no purer form of marketing than customer selling to customers. They look like them, they talk like them, they have the same problems as them. It's real, it's authentic. If you, again, don't have content, leverage AI, bro. Like, there's so many options now on AI which look as good as this, if not better. But again, wherever possible, stick with authenticity. But this is what's actually going to get the sale over the line, is others using, getting value, showing the product in use, and this helps them imagine. Okay, and it also validates the fact that, okay, others are using, getting value from it, therefore there's no reason I shouldn't also. Really, really important section, and you can have this as high up or as low down on a landing page as you want. I think for me, the higher the better. But we need to be able to validate everything that we're saying and justify it externally, because it doesn't matter what you say as the brand, because no one's going to believe you. People buy from people at the end of the day, not faceless brands or entities. Now, we're going into our offer section. Now, if we go to the top, every single call to action here should link down to this product section. And these images are what are really going to start to educate on what this product is, what they're getting. And now notice, I am not selling an individual product. I am selling a bundle here. Right, now this is incredibly important, because what I don't want to do is spend, I think our average cost per acquisition is around £20 at the minute, has been for a very long time. I want to spend £20 on Meta and then sell a single product for, I think the single price is $31.99. Okay, it's very hard for me to make profit on that, particularly so on the first order. What I do want them to do, because I have multiple products and multiple range, is I want them to try everything first and then come back on the back end and subscribe. Multiple reasons: LTV and also AOV on the front end. I need to be able to cover the cost of my ads. I need to ensure that customers in an ideal world actually get a chance to try all of these products, and then they know, because the problem I'm solving is fussy kids with fussy eating habits. If they don't know what flavor they're going to like, here's one of everything. Go away, try it. Which one do you like? The ones that you like, you come back and subscribe. And this is how we've architected this. And it literally ticks every single box. So average order value here, we have a good, strong offer. We have an offer stack here, which is value-led. Okay, we've got free shipping built in as well. External proofing, very clear headline on what the product is. And we're literally telling them exactly what we want them to do. Now, these images in this carousel are also incredibly important, because they will scroll through these. They want to see, okay, I'm spending $120. What am I actually getting for that? And again, just made on Canva. It took me 20 minutes. not difficult at all. But again, everything here is architected in such a way that the copy, the colors, the points that we're pulling out here that are actually important to the market, not that what is important to us. Again, we always lead with value on the customer side. So yeah, this is the offer stack. And if you are running to an advertorial or landing page, always, wherever possible, sell a bundle, get more cash in. But to do that, to charge more, you have to offer more value. And it's always that balance we need to strike of perceived value versus fair exchange. And then the leverage on the back end is where we actually get them to stay and come back. This is when we can start to scale. But yeah, really important. Don't just run to a single product. If you're going to run to a single product, like I'll show you on my product page after, this is where we can get a little bit more creative with the offer stack, etc. Okay, no subscription here. We just want them to try. This is our core offer. This is what gets them entry into the brand. This is where they're going to try everything. Then they're going to come back and subscribe. This is my offer. Anyway, now super simple, and us versus them. Okay, nice and easy. Again, just making sure everything stacks in our favor. And this is like a real life appraisal as well, which hopefully when they go through this, they'll be able to resonate with. A bit more social proofing on the back end. And this is more so if they're playing professional sport or they don't trust the product. Like there is no higher testing framework and supplements in the world than Informed Sport. So again, it's another stamp of approval. It's initiating, or it's getting that logical brain turned on again for the consumer. This is what's going to help with conversions. More social proofing. Now, this is an interesting one. So if they, for whatever reason, are apprehensive to buy and spend $120, I have a downsell strategically placed where they can just buy 2 products. They can pick a flavor at the bottom, buy as many as they want, but this is like the lower cost option. If they think their kids aren't going to like only the greens, they don't want gummies, they just want to try the snacks before and the shakes for after, and we have this here. And this also works well as a sweeper strategy. FAQ at the bottom, and these FAQs are an amalgamation of all of the questions we get time and time again on the ads, on customer service, pre-sales, post-sales. So this isn't just something I've just pulled out of my ass. This is the actual real customer data that they keep asking the same questions. How old do our kids need to be? What makes them different? What's different to a protein shake? All of this. And again, we're just anticipating ahead of time, and multiple reasons for this, particularly so because we don't want any additional burden on our customer service. It's time consuming. It's more friction for the customer. So the more we can anticipate ahead of time, the higher your conversion rate is going to be, the more comfortable your customer is going to be in checking out. And then of course, social proofing. Okay. As I said, 4.5 on Trustpilot, and this is being out of stock as well. Okay, most people are happy. Generally, the ones who aren't, it's always a case of us being out of stock or delivery issues. Okay, so again, this is what's going to get customers over the line. So yeah, that's an appraisal of the landing page. The principles in here, you don't need to copy this directly, but the principles are universal. Go to any big brand, click through. If you're looking on the ads, for example, look at the ones where they say learn more as opposed to shop now. You'll find landing pages, listicles, advertorials, long form landing pages. They all follow the same / a very similar flow. And these are the principles that I want you to be able to draw to insert into your own brand. Cool. If you have any questions, by the way, just stick them in the comments. I'll answer them. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch over tabs and I'm going to show you my product page. And this is equally as complex and simple. But again, we're looking for principles here that you can just directly copy and put straight into your own supplement brand. All right, so landing page done. Now I'm going to show you my product page, my PDP. So let's check it out. Nice easy navigation. I'm talking through this section by section. All right, so first and foremost, you see consistency here, consistency on brand colors, everything we discussed on the landing page is here. Now, the difference between a landing page and a product page, they're similar, same but different. A landing page, an advertorial, a listicle is very education focused. We're agitating the pain, we're invoking emotions, whereas a PDP for me is a sales page. So they already know, like, and trust you. They've seen the product, it's not their first interaction, and they're warm, they're hot, they're ready to buy. So we don't need to be in anywhere near as much depth in terms of education on the product page. This is why if you're running cold traffic directly to product page, sometimes dependent on your market or the complexity or the problem that you're solving or how you're positioning it, it doesn't convert anywhere near as well as a landing page. But again, different funnels, different architecture on the back end for different levels of consumer or customer awareness. So if you want an example of what sort of traffic I would send directly to this page, it's going to be more bottom of funnel. They've seen a couple of ads, they've engaged with us before, maybe they're not email systems, and there's two primary funnels of traffic I will send directly to this product page. First and foremost is on retargeting, or if we're trusting Meta and the algorithm to do things correctly, if I'm running review ads or statics, I will run directly to this page from here. And again, sometimes you just have to trust Meta to do its thing and know exactly where customers are in that journey and pipeline. But again, it's good to have this architected and thought out ahead of time. And the second source is everything in email marketing will all directly point to this page, because what we don't want to do is we have someone engaged, they know the product, they're in your ecosystem already. We don't need to then re-educate them and make them go through that whole landing page again. We just need to close the sale. And this is what this page is architected to do. So step by step. Same above the full section. Now, product images. This carousel, I'm leading with value. I'm telling me exactly what are you getting. Now, what's this product? How does it work? Who else is using it? I think there's a lot of room for improvement still on here. These all need to be updated. But again, this is like a very good section for you to actually build out and basically tell customers what this product is, who else is using it, how's it working. Okay, you can story tell in these product carousel images, particularly so in the first 2 or 3. Now, Trustpilot, again, external validation, incredibly important, so they know this is legitimate. Make sure everything is consistent and links up throughout. Headline, title, explainer. Now, in a concise way as possible, let's note the benefits, let's denote, and we don't need to be as purely focused on the benefits versus the features as we are in the educational page, because they already know, like, and trust us, they're in our ecosystem. Now, this product selection is, again, deliberately architected. So we have 3 flavors, we have multiple purchase options, but what we want 100 times out of 100 is we do not want them to come and buy this. This is our sample pack, okay? The worst case scenario, even though we're still getting the sale, is for someone to select this and go to this, okay? Now, the way that we mitigate, or the way that we legislate against that, is we hyperinflate the price of our sample pack, because let's be honest, the reason I leave this available is because I had a lot of customers in the early days, they're not sure if the kid's gonna like it, because taste is largely subjective. And we're dealing with kids who have underdeveloped palates. So what we didn't want to do is sell 2 or 3 bags to a customer. The kid turns his nose up at it, doesn't like it, want a refund, we've got to send out another one. So we leave this on here just as a worst case scenario. But again, we want to ensure that this is a last resort. Okay, so the way that we push back on that is we put it right at the end of the selection. Okay, this is the one that's pre-selected, and then we hyperinflate the price, but then we still have the subscribe and save option. In an ideal world, what we actually want is people to come either here, here, or here. And as you can see, I'll do a quick refresh check on here so I can show you what this lands on when it decides to load. The option I want them to take is pre-selected, and this one is here, which is top seller. Again, it's marked. The subscribe and save is pre-selected. We're offer stacking value here, so we're not just like just subscribe and save on one-time purchase. We're giving them reasons to buy. We're stacking value. Okay, if we were to have this pre-selected and this pre-selected, which is what I did when I first started, we're going to lose so much cash. Our conversion rate probably there or thereabouts the same, but they're going to say it's expensive. We're not going to no LTV on the back end. We're going to have to heavily depend on our email systems. Average order value is going to be very low, and we're not giving customers the full options, basically. Okay, so this is the pre-selected. Okay, this is what they see. The second, this is all preloading. They can obviously just choose the flavor. I've got colors in here just to help them visualize it a little bit, and then actual images of what they're getting through the post. Okay, this is the best value. This is in an ideal with what we want everyone to do. We'd like them to have this and then subscribe every 4 weeks. But again, it depends on the age of the kid, how frequently they play sport, how often or how they embed the product into their lifestyle. So it's going to be different for everyone. Now, the subscribe option is always going to be the number one, but there are some considerations to think about. First and foremost is the use case for the product. Do they actually want a delivery of this every week on the first sale? Maybe yes, probably no. So we have to think about that. Second part is product fatigue. So are they going to get too much and they get sick of it and it keeps coming every month? And the third thing is the interval. If they're buying 40 meals or 40 packs every 4 weeks, are they going to have an oversubscription? So again, this is where it comes down to you getting into the frame and mind of your consumer and understanding, okay, where is that point of fair exchange and value versus the use case? This will get better over time with more feedback. For example, if you're just launching, but in an ideal world, pick the one that has the best value, and then we stack value on here. All right, they're getting a free shaker, 10% off. Everything's done, so it adds more convenience. It's dropped out the door. They can pause, cancel anytime, which is really important if we're pushing to subscription. And obviously the free shaker on the bottom, again, which is just stacking value. I could stack loads of value here, actually. I could add in a free bottle of gummies. I could add in a free bar, but instead I choose them as average order value upsells on the cart. But again, this is the thing. This is the one that we don't really want them to see because we don't want to do it. But again, we penalize them for it in a way, two ways. First and foremost, obviously it's more expensive. And the second part, which is the clever bit, is to get free shipping, which I think is an extra $5. They have to spend over 50. So they're actually very heavily incentivized to buy this one. Okay, because they got no shipping. They have all of this value stacked in. It benefits the customer because they get the best value. They get everything for free, and obviously we win because we get LTV, or at least approximated LTV on the back end. Now, I'm back, rudely interrupted by a barley power cut. Right, so let's pick this up where we were going from. So we've just kind of run through this product selection. Now remember, the only button that matters on the whole of this page is this add to cart. It's clear, it's contrasting, it's a very clear call to action. For me, I go direct to cart because this is where I add in a free shaker, which is a bit of custom coding for you. In an ideal world, we can skip this and go straight to checkout. All right, and on cart again, you can have upsells. Again, this is just trying to help get average order value up as much as possible. But again, very clear call to action. It's contrast. This is where the eye needs to be attracted to. All right, again, everything's still in the brand colors. Now, nutritional information for those who are interested. Again, I'm not posting this anywhere on here because it's important, but it's not that important. If they want to see it, they can see it. Now, this opens in a different tab as opposed to redirecting. I'll show you what I mean. So this is what this looks like. So again, this tab is still open. I'm not redirecting them to another page within the website because then your UX is scrambled. All right, so if they're interested, it's there. It's not taking up any real valuable digital real estate. Now, this risk-free taste test, this is us activating the logical side of the business in this of the sale, sorry. And this is where we're really trying to, it's just risk reversal, right? It's worst case scenario, you're going to be absolutely fine. All right. And we're talking their language. You've got a picky eat at home. For whatever reason, if the child doesn't like the flavor, we'll send you a different one to try or give you money back. All right. And obviously the disclaimer at the bottom, no questions asked. This is what's going to get customers over the line. Risk reversal. We're taking accountability. If it's not good enough, if they don't like it, have your money back or get another one for free. This in and of itself will improve conversion rate 10x. Just the fact that they know worst case scenario, I'm going to be absolutely fine. This is huge, okay? And again, it takes up quite a bit of realistics. I think it's important, but again, getting that risk reversal logic brain assigned for your consumer, and again, just getting into their brain because this is what they're worried about, particularly so with this product in this market, with this niche, is kids are fussy eaters. They might not like the flavor. Okay, this is why we try and get around with by selling the bundle so they can try them all first. But again, if they just want to buy the one, then worst case scenario, their downside is covered. Okay, we still get the sale. Worst case scenario, they don't like it, send another flavor out. Guess what? Now they're going to stick. Now they found the one that they like. They're going to come back and they're going to continue to subscribe. And because they have full control over their subscription on the back end, they can just switch that, or our customer service can do it for them. No problem. Now we can start to get into a little bit on the product. Okay, so you can see this content's a lot different to that of the landing page. And this is where we're very heavily focused. Okay, what is this product? And then how is it actually going to benefit them? Okay, and you see with this, for example, we're not saying contains X, Y, and Z. It's directly linked to the desired result. And these, again, are all problems and solutions that we understand our customers struggle with and suffer with, or that is important to them. And this is how we position. Okay, again, sometimes in supplements, you have to be careful with health claims. So there's no medical claims on here. Everything here is an approved health claim. Again, just something to be aware of. But just bear in mind, we are not selling features. We're focusing on the benefits. Now, going into the product, explaining what it is, how it works, what's in it. This is important, particularly so for the more analytical type of customers who are going to question everything, or the current parents who want to know what's in it, what's the ingredients, what's the sweetener, what's the macro breakdown. Okay, some people are like that. Okay, so we have it here in case they want it. This is what this section is for. Again, you will notice everything is on brand. Everything's nice and clean. It's well architected. It follows that flow, and we're trying to anticipate ahead of time, getting into the customer's brain. What's the product? What's the offer? Does it make sense? Okay, now let's reiterate how this thing works, what's in it, and why they should buy it. Okay, now back into the testimonial section. Again, real parents, very similar. You can just copy the section from your landing page or your advertorial listicle straight into the product page. But again, just remember, the principle here is customers selling to customers, not faceless brand or entity. It really builds in that personality. Again, we're empathizing, we're getting into their brain. They are seeing others who look like them, talk the same language. And when I say talk the same language, I don't mean they speak English. I mean, they resonate, they have the same problems. They have the same, or had the same current situation. They've now linked it to a desired situation. Again, it's very similar to this. It's kind of risk reversal, right? We're just mitigating from the customer side that this does what it says on the tin, on the tub, on the pouch, on the bottle, whatever the format is of your product. Now, scrolling down a little bit. Now we can go into a little bit more of the complexities of the product. So we're breaking down the ingredients, what it is, what's in it, how it works. Again, you can see at this point, we are actually focusing on the actual ingredients because this is important. But again, we're linking it directly. We can talk a little bit more scientific here, but again, it's grade 2 language. We're not throwing in all these big words or long sentences. It's just short, punchy language. Okay, nice and clean. Everything flows. These icons are all aligned. The text is all aligned. Everything is nice and clean. Okay. Now, storytelling. Again, this is just to kind of reiterate. And this is also like the use case for the product, because in an ideal world with this product, we don't want this to be a go-to. This is exactly what it says. It's a backup plan. For whatever reason, proper meals aren't available. Parents don't have time to cook. Kids are fussy eaters. They've got a long commute. They're working full time. We're just reiterating the use case for the product. Again, colors all on point, and now we're baking in social validation and proof to validate that what we're saying is true. And these are actual reviews, okay, from nutritionists. I think I can show you this. Okay, these aren't made up. These aren't actors.
I was super kindly given a new protein powder to try.
So you can see, okay, not made up. Good, strong product. Photography on the front end. It looks professional. And remember, if they are putting their credit card details into your store, they want or need to feel comfortable that this is legit. And things like this really help. It's clean, it's crisp, colors are on point, everything is consistent. And then to layer it in, we've got even more on the bottom. Okay, you can see it here. And as you can see, nothing crazy here. But these are actual real quotes from real people. If you don't have this yet, again, it's okay to kind of use a placeholder for now. But this is what's going to get your consumers over the line, because this point that on this page, we just need to give them enough confidence to get over the line and complete the sale. Now we go into use cases. Okay, so we've covered the parents. We've covered what's in the product. We've got the social kind of benefit. We've got the external validation from industry professionals. Now we go into the actual users of the product, which is the kids themselves. Now these are like well put together YouTube videos or case studies that we've done with actual athletes. I can give you a quick watch if you want. If you want to see what it's like.
My name's Tommy, as well as being Orla's father.
Parents, young athletes.
Problems we have with Orla's nutrition.
Again, if this will let me scroll.
From home to gym.
Again, they're talking about the problem, they're storytelling, we're not just going in for the sell. Okay, so a nice section in here, nice and clean. Again, as you can see, everything's on brand, everything's nice and consistent. Now, the us versus them, see the copy here. All right, we're not just saying us versus them. It's like we're providing use case, why this works. Clear. All right, everything's stacked on the bottom. It's very clear. This is kind of highlighted as well. So this is what's going to catch their attention. And then, of course, one of the most important things, social proofing, validation, but directly from the market. Because remember, parents will read the same. They will have the same problems. They're probably all the same age. They have similar life experience. So their language is what works. This is what carries a lot of the weight. And this really is the product page encapsulated. Okay, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. We've got a couple of highlighted reviews here. Again, directly parents' own words. We've got external validation from Trustpilot. And then, of course, that same FAQ from the landing page, covering off and boxing off or anticipating all of those common objections. And that is it, really. It doesn't need to be any more complicated. Just remember, this above the fold section and this add to cart section is, again, the most valuable piece of digital real estate on your product page. So make sure you have a couple of things boxed off. First and foremost, the numbers must make sense to you financially, baking in your operational overheads and your cost per acquisition. Ideally, we want to be selling multiple products into a subscription as opposed to a single time. Remember, we need to be focused on two things: average order value on the front end and lifetime value on the back end. We always funnel into subscribe and save. The value stack is very heavily focused on subscription, which means that they get free shipping, they get free shaker. Everything is a lot more easier. They save a lot of money on this. So it's very clear and obvious to the customers. Just don't make them have to think. The second they think, they get into analytical brain, they'll talk themselves out of it. Their attention's gone. The dog needs fed. They need to go to the shop, whatever. Life gets in the way. Just nice and easy. But this is the power of just you architecting, getting the fundamentals right, making sure the numbers make sense for you, both on an acquisition, and of course that we have the systems on the back end to ensure that when we get a customer, we retain the customer, because this is what is going to allow you to scale. If we're talking about running a lifestyle brand that you can work 2 to 4 hours a week on, these systems on the back end are what's going to carry the weight. But the way you strategize, the way you price, the way you position your product, this work at the start and building on good, solid, strong foundations, this is what's going to get you over the line. This is what's going to make this a sustainable, proper brand that cash flows and ideally has exit value. And that's pretty much it for this video. Again, nothing overly complicated. If you want to copy this, no problem. FYI, this was built on Replo, but you can use Pagefly, any one of the page builders. You can get a landing page designer. You can do it on Canva or Figma. Ask someone to emulate for you. There's multiple ways to do it, but again, nice and easy, nothing too complicated, perfectly copyable if you want to structure. And if you need any support, link will be in the description. Book a call. Hope this is useful. Go build. Let's go. Cash time. Ciao.